Happy Tuesday and happy birthday, Janet. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. We got some fun stuff coming your way today, so it's gonna be a good time. So before we get to the work set, let us bring you into this lovely work set. Our warm-up today, dynamic triangle of 3 to 5 aside, windmill of 3 to 5 aside, single leg RDL plus foot assist pistol, 3 to 5 per side of that nice little hybrid, and then we're gonna work on a single leg morning with rotation just to kind of bring everything together with that rotation work. 3 to 5 aside, and then finally warming up that back lunge for 3 per side, because we're going to use that back lunge today pretty heavily in the work set. We have 2 rounds of that work set, taking that down nice and smooth, and then from there we're going to move into a nice little kind of work set that's going to get us prepped for what's to come. We have a back lunge to thruster for 3 aside, and we're going to explain that movement to you guys. It's kind of a fun work set. It's a little different, but we'll talk about that as we get going. Jump, drop, plus rebound, 3 to 5. Dumbbell pause, dip, 3 at 3 seconds. Dumbbell push press for 3 per side. And then we have our dumbbell overhead pause dip for 3 at 3 seconds. So again, if you're using a single dumbbell, this is a great opportunity to work on all through that complex on one side, then flip sides, all through the other side. If you have 2, you'll just take it down as is, and then continue on. So it gives you a good opportunity to warm up the dip on both accounts in the receiving position of the jerk, plus get that nice dynamic dip drive in the push press in the middle. So lots of skills here to play with and work with moving forward to the workout. The workout today, 3 rounds of work with a continuous running clock of 1 minute. So what that means is you'll set your timer up for an on-the-minute time frame. You are going to have a minute at each of these stations, but you're not going to get a full minute because each timer just runs into the next. All right, so if you stand there on transition and rest for a little while, you're eating into your next exercise, into that minute. So just keep that in mind. Transitions are super key here in this work set. But again, use that time to what you are capable of. If you need to rest, rest. If you need to take a moment midway through the minute, please do so. You have a minute to take down what you can in that work set. So resting is a part of it. So what we have, 3 rounds of this work set. You're going to take down a minute of the lunge thruster. So what that is basically just a back lunge into a press. So again, we'll see that in that demonstration here in the demo, in the opening warm-up. You're going to take that down for a minute, working on 3 reps per side, taking that down, alternating back and forth. It's a single dumbbell exercise. Then you're going to move into a dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull, max reps a minute, alternating every 3 to 5 reps. Box jump or a box jump variation for a minute. Dumbbell push press for a minute, again either alternating every 3 to 5 or using 2 dumbbells for that one for a minute. And then we finish off with a 100 to 200 meter run. So the 100 to 200 meter run is an interesting one today because 200 meters is tough to get in that minute consistently, but you do have a minute rest after the run. So if you do want to challenge yourself to push for that minute and you end up being a little over the minute, just know that that's okay, but you are going to eat into your rest. So you are sacrificing a little bit of rest for that slightly longer run if you'd like to do that. If not, take the 100, you'll have a little bit of downtime, probably between, I'd say 30 to 20 seconds of rest on top of the minute at the end, but you'll be pushing that pace a little bit harder for the 100-meter distance. So have some fun with that, choose your distance. I'll have some other options for the run and or for the box jump, so check those out on the workout description. But it's time to get you warmed up, prepped for this lovely list of work. All right, let's warm you guys up. Let's get those feet under the hips. You take the arms big and tall up overhead. Just gonna get a little side bend, a little reaching side bend. Come back through, a little reaching side bend. Good, we'll come back through, scratch our back and reach through the elbow. Come back up, big stretch. Scratch your back and reach. Good, we'll come back up, big stretch. And then we're gonna forward fold, touching those toes. We're gonna walk up those shins, nice flat back. We'll come down, framing the foot. We'll step it into that lizard lunge position where they'll take that inside hand all the way up. And we're gonna rotate the forearm to the floor. We'll come back up, planting that hand, coming back down. We'll take that outside hand up to the sky. Bring that hand Inside hand's gonna scoop and rotate. Come back up. Plant that hand. Outside hand's gonna take it up to that twist. One more time. Inside hand, scoop and rotate. Come back up. Plant that hand. Outside hand, big twist. And plant that hand. We'll step back into that down dog, reaching those hips. Let's walk the heels out a few times, nice and gentle. Nice and easy. Good. Come back to center. Step the other foot up. Inside hand is going to take that big scoop up to the sky. Rotate, forearm on the floor. We'll come back up. Plant the hand. Outside hand is going to open. Nice twist. Back down. Inside hand is going to scoop up and rotate. We'll come back up. Plant that hand. Open. And that nice twist. Come back down. One more time. Inside hand scoop. Rotate. Come back up. Plant that hand. Outside hand. And plant it down. Set those hands. Big stretch into that nice down dog. Reaching those hips high. Let's walk the heels a few times. Just feeling out those ankles a bit. Come back into our plank. Nice strong shoulders. We tiptoe those feet up. Roll ourselves up. Big stretch. Little reach to one side. Little reach to the other side. We'll come back down. Whew. Get you guys fired up and ready to go. If there's any extra gentle warm-up that you need to take down for yourself, maybe some band work, some cat-cow work, thread the needle, please do so. Pause the video, take that down. We're gonna move into that next phase of warm-up, get you guys ready to go, and have some fun today. All right, let's kickstart off this work set today. We're gonna start in our sumo stance. We're gonna work on a little bit of lower body kind of hinging and some upper body opening. So we're gonna turn a toe and turn the other toe. So one toe is pointing straight to the side, the other toe is on a slight angle, so those hips are also open on that diagonal position. Hands gonna come to the thigh. We're gonna take that arm and screw in that light bulb to get that arm set and locked. We're gonna draw the hip back into that back heel as we take the hand down towards the foot. We're gonna keep that arm up overhead in that nice overhead position as I slowly come back up to a standing position. So again, we pull the hip back into the back heel. We're slowly taking that hand down the thigh, and then we slowly rise back up into that overhead position. Focusing on the shoulder position the entire time, because we're gonna need it in that good set position, moving into this next movement. So we'll hit that up 3 to 5 per side in that dynamic triangle, and then we're gonna move into our windmill. So our windmill, our toes are gonna be slightly turned out, if you'd like, for comfort, but we're gonna stay in that sumo stance. One hand is gonna go up into that overhead, locking that shoulder in place, the other hand's gonna press the hand down. We're gonna draw the hips back, but then start rotating at the low rib as we open up to the side, taking it down as deep as you feel comfortable, and then slowly rise back up. So with this, as we pull back, we rotate, keeping that shoulder still as we open into that nice side position. So, does that mean you have to touch the floor? Absolutely not. If you feel your shoulder starting to rotate on its own, we want to make sure we lock that shoulder in place and hold it exactly where it is or stop our rotation. So we want to make sure we're listening to our body as we move through. That shoulder is going to end up pointing that way anyway, but we want to make sure that it's because we're rotating at that low rib and not because the shoulder is shifting on its own. So listen to your body, actively set those two positions so the hands pressing away from each other, and that can really help maintain those positions as you move through that movement. After that, we're going to bring our feet in pretty narrow into our hip width stance, and we're going to get ourselves set up in our kickstand. So we're going to get a toe back behind that heel, nice and square in the hips. We're going to work on the RDL and the pistol. So for this warm-up, let's just keep the foot down in our kickstand for both movements because we're just using it to prime up some tissues. So we'll keep the hips square, everything's facing forward. Let's draw the hip back towards the back wall, keeping that foot flat in the front weight through the midfoot, big toe stays down. We stand up nice and tall, resetting that position, and then we draw the hip down towards the heel. So we're moving into that good squat. Then we push through that balancing leg, reset the hips if we need to, set the shoulders, and draw back into the hinge. So RDL, we hinge, feeling that hamstring, and then pistol, we squat, keeping the weight over this balancing leg and balancing foot. So we want to make sure that we're feeling both of those change of movement patterns. First one's hinge, second one's squat. So giving yourself that time to reset in between is crucial. After that, we're going to continue with the single leg work. We're going to bring one heel out in front, toe pulled back in that front leg. I'm going to stay nice and square in my hips. I'm going to draw my hips straight back into that hinge, and then I'm going to rotate towards my lead leg. And then I'll stand back up nice and tall. So as I draw back, I'm staying weighted through my midfoot, my hips stay square, and then I'm going to rotate at the low rib towards that lead leg. If I can't touch my leg, that's okay. We're just going to rotate at that low rib, just like we did in the windmill, right? As best we can with that nice gentle rotation. So it's not necessary to touch the leg, but you may find as you warm that up a little bit more, you'll get more and more range to touch or get closer to. Now after that lovely single leg good morning with rotation, we're going to go to our last single leg movement to start warming up this back lunge in our work set, and we're just going to do a back lunge. So I'm going to stand up nice and tall, feet are about squat stance. I'm going to step my foot back, I'm going to lower down, keeping that knee over top of the heel, and stand tall. So I'm going to do 3 per side, working on that nice back lunge, giving myself an opportunity to kind of feel that position that I need to work on. Because later on, we're going to add in a press and a front rack position. So we need to make sure that we're staying stable and working with that good position. So take your time. If you'd like to start off with that standing lunge first and work that in a static position up and down, you can. So you can take that down and just do 3 per side to get yourself ready and warmed up. As a quick recap, we have a dynamic triangle of 3 to 5 a side, windmill of 3 to 5 a side, single leg RDL plus foot assist pistol, 3 to 5 a side, and our single leg good morning with rotation for 3 to 5 a side, finishing off with our back lunge of 3 per side, or our standing lunge for 3 per side. 2 rounds of that's going to help get you guys ready to go, to fire up those legs, get some rotation in there for everything that's coming our way. So pause the video, take that down. We're going to go through the next phase, which is going to get a little bit more kind of movement focused, that are going to be more kind of skill transfers to the work set. All right, so our first movement today is going to be a back lunge to thruster. And we're going to give ourselves a chance to practice this movement. What we're going to be working on today is opposite hand to opposite leg. So we're going to use that back lunge with that opposite leg to press and stand into that thruster. Normally it's a squat and press. Today it's going to be a lunge and press. So we're going to clean the dumbbell up to the shoulder position, that front rack position. We're going to stand nice and tall in that squat stance for balance. And whatever hand we have up on the shoulder, pulling the dumbbell, the opposite leg is going to step back. So we'll step back, stand, press. We'll come back down, step, stand, press. So we're using the momentum of the lunge to stand and press that dumbbell up. So it's going to be a little different than a normal thruster. So you're going to find that your timing might be a little different. My suggestion would be to lower the dumbbell to the shoulder, set the ribs and glutes, then do your lunge, opposed to that thruster where we go right from the overhead, absorb into the squat. My suggestion, like I say, for balance purposes, would be bring it to the shoulder, feel the tension, then step back and move into the squat. Now if you happen to do a thruster, same hand, same leg, not the end of the world, might just feel a little off balance when you step back, but for today, let's try and focus on opposite hand to opposite leg in the step. That'll just keep you a little bit more balanced as we move through this work set. Play with that, get yourself prepped You're gonna do 3 and 3 just to feel that movement out. Now, if you're not comfortable with the lunge to thruster, you can do a normal squat thruster, so you can play around with that as well, if you'd like in the warm-up if you're not a comfortable lunger. Now, after that, we're gonna work on our jump drop to rebound. So our jump drop to rebound is joining those two pieces up to work on our absorption of impact. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up onto those toes, balance between the big toe and pinky toe. We're going to do the drop, sort of pull into that power position. Not a lot of impact there, right? As we pull into that nice squat position with those knees slightly out, hands come back. But we're going to add the rebound. So there's nothing wrong with doing a couple of jump drops first and then adding the jump drop plus rebound afterwards. So with the rebound, we're going to come up onto those toes, we're going to pull down and up, and then land in that soft position. This is not multiple reps at one time. We do one, we reset, do the next. So we have that good, tall position, pull to the power, and then up, and land in that receiving position, in that power position with very little impact. Remember, our goal is not necessarily super high, but our goal is to practice the landing position so that we're landing stable and we're landing strong. Now, something that's kind of cool, as you land, we're going to land first in the toe, but then we're going to quickly pull back to a flat foot where our weight rests in our midfoot. So we don't want to spend the whole time in our toes. We start and absorb into the full flat foot contact, and then we answer it back with our rebound. So have fun with that one, you guys. Take your time, work on a few key points. If you're like, I just need to really focus on the jump drop, that's okay. Do the jump drop for 3 to 5. Don't worry about the rebound yet. Just focus on that absorption position and key kind of power landing position first. After the jump drop and rebound, we're going to work on our push press. So we'll clean the dumbbell up to the shoulder, and we're going to work on a pause dip to start. So my feet are going to be under my hips. They're going to be nice and tall and tight. I'm going to draw my hips straight down so my shoulder, hip are stacked on top of each other. My knees go slightly out. And then from here, I stand up nice and tall. So from the side, you'll notice that my hips go straight down to that nice stacked position. Big toes stay down, knees go out, and then I stand up tall. We're going to use that same dip without a pause in our push press. So in our push press, we take the body down, big drive, and use the momentum of the hips and the knees to drive the dumbbell overhead. So we get my dip, big drive overhead, come back down, reset, dip, big drive, and our last rep, we're going to hold the overhead position, keeping the ribs in, set through the midsection, and then I'm going to dip. Keeping that same stacked position, except this time my arm, dumbbell, shoulder, hip, all in alignment, nice straight up and down position, knees go slightly out, and then I come back once I've done my 3 reps. So I'm trying to maintain that nice straight line of action from my dumbbell all the way to my hip. And that means I'm stacking the load over top of my spine and skeleton to be as supported as I can be. So play around with that dip. You may find that your pause dip in the beginning and your overhead pause dip might be a little different, because that overhead pause dip might cause you to be a little shallower, and that's okay. That's just a combination of that overhead position plus that hip and ankle range. So listen to your body. Don't expect them to be the same. They may be the same, and that's okay, but please keep in mind that you might have some hesitancies as that arm is overhead to get that deep. Listen to your body mechanics and your position. As a quick recap, we have a back lunge to thruster for 3 aside, jump drop plus rebound for 3 to 5 reps, dumbbell pause dip, 3 at 3 seconds, dumbbell push press for 3, dumbbell overhead pause dip for 3 at 3 seconds. We'll hit that for 2 rounds, and then we're going to move into the work set, where you can either move into a practice round, which will be touching on each of these movements, or just kind of getting yourself set up and having some fun with these. So pause the video, take down those skills, let's transfer them over into our work set. All right, we've made it to the work work set. So again, 3 rounds. We have a continuous running clock of a minute. Each exercise, you're gonna have 1 minute to do whatever amount of reps you can do in that time frame. Resting as you need to, or working straight through for the minute. Our first exercise is that lunge thruster. So that's that lovely movement we just practiced in our previous work set. Remembering that we're going to have the dumbbell on the one side and stepping back with the opposite side. So we're trying to work that opposite body unilateral kind of work. If by chance you end up doing same side, it's not the end of the world, it'll be okay. Like I say, you might just feel a little off balance as you take that lunge. But we're gonna do 3 to 5 per side, switch 3 to 5, and you're just gonna keep alternating hands back and forth as you go through that minute of work. When you're done that lunge thruster, you'll hear your beep, then you're gonna go right into your sumo deadlift high pull. So our sumo deadlift high pull, we stand over top of our dumbbell. We work our nice setup position, so we are good back position throughout. I take hold of the dumbbell. I'm going to push through those legs, standing tall, and allowing that dumbbell's momentum to carry into that high and outside position. From the side, it looks like so. I maintain that good deadlift back position that we worked on yesterday. I push super strong through those legs, and then I finish the momentum with that arm. Now, a good rule of thumb, literally, is guiding the thumb towards the armpit. Not right into it, but guiding it towards the armpit, keeping the chest open, the shoulder open, making sure we have that nice, happy, open shoulder opposed to a congested shoulder as we come up the front. So high and outside. The arm doesn't do a lot. And again, with this exercise in the workout, we are going to alternate every 3 to 5 reps, going back and forth, getting that nice smooth flow from side to side in the minute or the time frame that we have. Once we're done our sumo deadlift high pull, we're gonna move to our box jump. And our box jump can be one of many things. We have lots of options for these. I'm gonna demonstrate a couple, but I'll have a lot on the bottom for the workout description. So what we have for you guys is a box, or we have a step at home, something that we feel comfortable to jump on and or that's stable. So with the box jump, we get into that good power position that we use in our jump, drop, and rebound drill. We're going to use it quickly to get up on that box. So I throw my body back, I stand tall, I step down. I get ready to go again, using that whole body, using those arms, those legs, everything to get up on that box. Now if you have something that you can step on, but you're not comfortable jumping on it, you can also work on a step up. So you can work on that nice full extension through the knee and the hip, and just take it back and forth for the minute, trying to maintain a steady cadence for the whole process. Another option, if you have something you're comfortable stepping on, you can do a lateral step over, or a lateral step up. Just remember, if you're doing the lateral step up, half the minute will be on one side, half the minute on the other, or you can alternate every 3 to 5 rounds, like we did with the single dumbbell movements. Now, if you don't have an apparatus, we have a few really cool movements that we can play with, one being our vertical power jump, which I find is the closest thing I have found to a box jump with fast rebounds without actually having to jump on a box. It loads you up in the legs the same way, gets your heart rate jacked up the same way. It's very, very comparable to fast cycling of a box jump. And what we do with that is we get ourselves set up, I draw back, into the next one, into the next one, and I just keep working on that rebound jump that we were working on in our warm-up on those individual reps. If you're a comfortable and competent jumper, 5 to 10 reps at a time. If you're like, nope, jumping is challenging for me, but I like it, 3 to 5, quick little rest, 3 to 5, quick little rest. Keep those jumps sharp and clean, and keep those things tight. Now there's gonna be more options on the workout description, so check those out. They're all movements you've done before in the past, so just make sure you're picking the one that's gonna challenge you the most, or get you furthering your jumping and or explosive abilities. Our next movement is our dumbbell push press, which we covered to great length in our warm-up already with the pause dip, push press, overhead dip. But what you're going to do with that is if you have 2 dumbbells, you can use 2 dumbbells for the push press, or if you have 1, you can alternate every 3 to 5 reps, and that is totally fine for that minute. The alternating back and forth may allow you just to continue to move for the whole minute, opposed to the double dumbbell where you might actually have to put them down because you're a little bit tired coming off the jumps. Now last but not least, we have a run, or a run equivalent of 100 to 200 meters. So the 100 meters is going to give you a little bit of extra rest time moving into that rest, but that 200 meters is going to be a tough time frame to maintain, especially after all that work. So if you are a very comfortable runner and you want to push yourself and challenge yourself, be willing to go for that 200, but if it eats into your rest a little bit, if you're a little slower than just sub-minute, and you're just a little bit over, that's okay. But we don't want that 200 to start really sinking into the rest minute like 20 seconds, 30 seconds in. We want to make sure we keep that run, if you're going to choose the 2, either just below a minute or just above, within 10 seconds, I'd say, or a minute 10. We don't want it creeping more than that because then it's taking away from your recovery for the next round. If you're like, yeah, I'm just happy to run, I might, yeah, I don't know about that. Hit the 100, hit it hard, recover for the next round. It's going to be a spicy 100 because of all that work as well. So stay tuned for that and see how it feels and adjust as you need to. Now the final minute is a rest. So take that full minute and focus on recovery. Focus on your breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth, trying to focus on your breath into your belly and low ribs and your diaphragm, so you're expanding through the midsection, not through the chest. Hardest part of this workout is going to get that recovery aspect, so really focus on your recovery and letting yourself come back down a little bit so you can hit that next round hard and strong. We have a cool work set for you guys today. We got 3 rounds of work coming at you. I hope you enjoy this one. It's a good time, but again, do what you can in that time frame. It's all up to you to work within your abilities and challenge yourself to where you need to be on that day. So listen to your body, have fun, and like always, work for quality. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy birthday, Janet. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Enjoy, and I hope this makes it a little extra special. Bye, you guys.